Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, I am delighted to welcome you to this workshop on export documentation and procedures. Over the next several lectures, we'll embark on a journey through the intricate world of international trade, exploring the critical role that accurate documentation plays in the success of all types of export operations from any country. To set the stage for our discussions, allow me to introduce you to a real life case study that vividly illustrates the paramount importance of having a comprehensive understanding of the export documentation when venturing into the global marketplace. Our case study revolves around a company in India, in Mumbai city, Silk Route Exports, a well established textile company that has earned a stellar reputation for the exquisite silk garments they produced, particularly their beautiful handcrafted silk saris. Those have great demand in the international market. For years, Silk Route Exports had been exporting their products to clients worldwide, building strong and trusted relationships with international buyers from different countries. Among these clients was a buyer called Fashion Edge Incorporated, a renowned clothing retailer based in New York, USA. The story takes an unexpected turn when Silk Route Exports received a substantially big order from Fashion Edge Incorporated, eager to meet the increasing demand, sudden demand for the products that are exported by Silk Route Exports. However, in their haste to fulfill this big sizable order, Silk Route Exports encountered a critical oversight, a lapse in their export documentation. This oversight triggered a series of events that would not only impact their business but also provide us with invaluable lessons about the intricacies and challenges of international trade, documentation, and procedures. As we delve into this case study during the workshop, we'll examine the detail, the problems associated with Silk Route Exports, export documentation, and resulting consequences. We'll explore why accurate and comprehensive knowledge of export documentation is vital in export operations and how it can make or break your success in global market. Throughout our discussion, we'll identify key takeaways that you can apply to your own export operations of different products that you are exporting, ensuring that you steer clear of the perils and pitfalls of incomplete, inaccurate, or untimely documentations or procedures. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for an enlightening and engaging journey through the world of export documentation and procedures. Let's begin by immersing ourselves in challenges that were faced by Silk Route Exports and the lessons we can draw from their experience in this particular incident. Let's explore how meticulous attention to detail in export documentation can make all the difference in the success of your international trade endeavors. Now that we have set the stage with the Silk Route Exports case study introduction that I have given you, I invite you to share your questions, thoughts, and queries about the situation that has been presented. Please feel free to raise your hand and I'll do my best to provide additional details and insights. Okay, yes, your question.
Thank you for sharing this case study. Sir, could you elaborate on the specific problems silk route exports faced due to incomplete documentation? What were the immediate consequences for their business?
Okay, certainly. An excellent question to begin with this particular case study. Silk route exports encountered a range of problems due to the incomplete documentation. Firstly, when their shipment of silk sarees arrived in the US customs, the customs officials could not accurately determine the value of the goods. This led to a customs clearance delay as they needed more information to assess import duties and taxes. As a result, Fashion Edge Incorporated, their valued customer in New York, faced significant delays in receiving the goods. These delays led to storage charges, damages at the port, which incurred additional costs for both Silk Route Exports and Fashion Edge Incorporated. Moreover, it strained their previously harmonious business relationship. In a sense, the immediate consequences of incomplete documentation included customs delays, financial penalties, and the risk of souring relationships with their customer in USA. Okay, please.
Thank you, Professor. Could you shed some light on how Silk Route Exports resolved the issue? What steps did they take to clear the customs and rectify the situation?
Certainly, recognizing the gravity of the situation, Silk Route Exports took several steps to resolve the issue. First, they engaged legal counsel in United States to navigate the customs clearance process accurately. Additionally, they hired a customs broker local in USA with expertise in textile imports. Silk Route Exports promptly provided the missing export documents, including a comprehensive and accurate commercial invoice, a detailed packing list that was not there earlier, and a certificate of origin as required by US Customs. These documents were submitted to the US Customs officials to demonstrate the accurate value and description of silk sarees exported by Silk Route Exports. While the customs clearance process eventually proceeded, it resulted in delays for several weeks. This delay, unfortunately, had already led to the incurrence of storage charges, it is also called demurrage charges, and inconveniences for Fashion Edge Incorporated. This case highlights the critical importance of not only having complete export documentation but also submitting it accurately and in a timely manner. Yes, please.
Sir, one question. In light of this case, could you share some best practices for ensuring accurate export documentation and preventing similar issues?
Absolutely. An essential question that is raised by you. To prevent issues like those faced by Silk Route Exports as well as the buyer, overseas buyer, here are some best practices that should be done predominantly by the exporter. First is the documentation checklist, preparing the documentation checklist. Create a comprehensive documentation checklist for each export transaction to ensure that no essential documents is overlooked. However urgent the transaction may be, whatever may be the size of the order, whatever may be the situation, this must be done in a very professional manner. Accuracy matters. Double check all export documents for accuracy and completeness, including the values, the proper breakup, quantities, and product description. Very, very important. So in this course, when we go further, we'll be emphasizing on these skills. How to present the values, how to present the quantities, how to have the product descriptions, what are the considerations. Thirdly, it is important to be staying informed. Stay updated on import regulations and requirements in the destination country that varies from country to country. They may not be standard. So in this course, we'll be talking about very generic things, but we'll be giving you a hint that what differences may be there in different importing countries and ensure compliance with all relevant local laws of the destination countries. It is very, very important. And fourthly, you should seek professional guidance. Consider working with customs experts, legal counsel, or custom brokers who specialize in international trade to navigate complex regulations if they are complex in nature. And fifth point, very important point for best practices is timely submission of the documents and carrying out the procedures in a timely manner. Submit all required documents to the customs authorities in the home country as well as in the host country well in advance to avoid delays. Documentation templates should be ready with you. Develop standardized document templates to streamline the process and reduce the risk of errors that may occur. And last point, very important point, is training. Complete team, both commercial team as well as marketing team and the operations team, all of them has to be trained in documentation and procedures. Provide training to your export team of different departments to ensure they understand the importance of accurate documentation and compliance, including the marketing professionals and sales professionals. That is very important. These best practices can help exporters maintain smooth and compliant export operations, reducing the risk of customs delays and complications.